Greetings folks and welcome back. It is the middle of January 2021 and many tech channels like myself happen to have their hands on the latest RTX 3000. I've got a 3070 Max-Q right here. Now I can't talk about it yet until the 26th of January. But what I can talk about is this Aorus 15G with last gen's 2070 Super. Now this one was sponsored by my wallet. And the reason I want to bring this to you today, because the MSRP on this machine at one point was $2,400 US. And I was able to pick this up brand new for $1,499, $1,500, right? Terabyte of storage, Thunderbolt, fast card reader, 8-core i7. It's pretty well loaded, 300 hertz display. So yes, I can tell you right now that the 2070 Super with the same watts as the 3070, there's maybe a 25% deficit in performance going with last gen. But this is $900 cheaper. So is that extra 60% cost worth 25%? Let's find out.
Greetings folks, meet the Aorus 15G XB. Now it's awesome thanks to the price cuts before 3000 series mobile release, making this a compelling option. Now this video was sponsored by my wallet, so hook your favorite BOB up with a sub and a like for reviewing this beauty. Now let's cut straight to the goods and finish up with the BS. This Aorus 15G rips games up like a boss, with system settings pulling maximum wattage along with maximum fan speed. Gaming performance and thermal performance hold their own for a laptop that's just under 1 inch thick. Even under the most extreme gaming conditions within Battlefield 5, where the CPU has to manage 63 other players as well as projectile weapons, and the GPU has to deal with it, we're getting proper performance without melting my fingers after 2 hours of gaming. Now this is the difference between me and the other guys. Gaming under these conditions reveals what a gaming laptop is, what it can cope with, and then I reveal this information to you via commentary and this awesome statistic overlay. Link in the description on setting this up for your gaming computer. Not impressed? Okay, how about we go the other direction and limit the wattage and fan profile to bring you an Aorus that has fan acoustics on another level, while playing the same game. Now many will happily trade 10% FPS performance loss for a laptop that's less than half as loud, as long as it doesn't cook itself, which you can clearly see. We're good. Or maybe you're like me, a thermal lunatic, willing to run the lower performance profile while maxing out the fans just for the LOLs. Now when it comes to benchmarks, Cinebench 20 score pales in comparison to the 4800H I have on hand, but this i7 demolishes that Ryzen CPU in my personal video editing software. And the latest 8-minute HP Spec review that I had rendered within 3 minutes. That is how fast the i7 is, thanks to QuickSync. Now Ryzen 4800H is great, but software hasn't been able to embrace it the way that I need it. It's not a bad thing to buy for what you need now versus what you hope something will be later. Hashtag, you're finally watching content where its creator actually uses reviewed laptops. Now making all this happen is the RTX 2070 Super Max-Q that is software controlled to pull 80 or 90 watts selectable. There's the 8-core i7-10875H, dual channel memory, the AX1650X Wi-Fi 6, which is actually an Intel card, 1 terabyte NVMe storage with an additional M.2 that will do SATA or NVMe, and the 94 watt-hour battery that is realistically good for about 5 to 7 hours with 50% brightness and keyboard lighting disabled. Some may be able to stretch this out to 9 hours. Some may try to do some editing and narrow this down to 3 hours, but 5 to 7 should be a pretty good estimate across the wide range of individuals using this laptop. Like what you see? All right, let's move on. The Aorus 15G weighs about 5 pounds. Its CNC cut aluminum chassis is silver in color and contrasts nicely with the black B cover bezel, keyboard, and trackpad. The hinge is some of Gigabyte's finest, and one-hand opening is a cinch. The Microsoft Precision trackpad is made of glass, it's small, and has a Windows Hello built in via fingerprint scanner. One of the stars of the show here is the Omron Switch mechanical keyboard. It's as good as it's ever been on a laptop, with 2.5 millimeters of travel, 1.6 millimeter actuation point, and it's the ASMR champion. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm staring at that nose cam down there. Yeah, here it is. Check this out. Everybody's least favorite webcam placement hasn't budged to favor consistently slim 3mm bezels. Aside from the angle, the microphone picks up on the fan noise even at idle, keyboard strokes, maximum fan. But hey, at least it has a shutter! The newest display option for the Aorus 15G, which came after its initial release, is this 300Hz Full HD display. It comes in at 100% standard RGB and 76% Adobe RGB, 319 nits on this unit here. Now, Gigabyte's high-end laptops like this Aorus 15G are X-Rite Pantone certified from the factory. There's no need for a $150 calibration tool or trying to use someone else's ICC color profile that wasn't tuned for your exact display. This is great for gamers and content creators. Combine this with the ports, and this is why I have been using Gigabyte laptops for 2 years as my daily driver. Port selection on the left, we have an HDMI mini display port, a single USB 3, the headphone mic combo port, and the local area network with the tab flipped up for easy removal. On the right, we have 2 USB 3 ports, Thunderbolt 3, UHS 2 card reader, and the barrel power port that supplies power via this 230 watt power supply unit. Now, as a content creator, Thunderbolt 3 and a fast UHS 2 or better is a must for my personal workflow. Speaker audio is nothing to brag about, and real-time audio via latency mon showed trouble related to CPU power management. I didn't encounter anything odd per my ears, except just average speaker audio. Have a listen. Alright, 2 quick nitpicks here about the Aorus and Aero laptops in general. As somebody who's been using them daily for 2 years now, is the idle fan speed fluctuation. Now, I have this set to quiet, and right now it is indeed just that. But it will ramp up its fans when I'm not putting the system under any stress. Perhaps I'm checking an email, and it can get a little annoying sometimes. Deep control, I will have a higher idle fan, and then it will ramp up even further no matter how I adjust these. Normal, kind of more of the same. Gaming, kind of more of the same. I prefer quiet, but when the fans do kick in, it just kind of bugs me a little bit. So my solution to mitigate this has been to set it to customize and then run a fixed fan speed at 25%. When it's time to render or game, I will press the function and escape key to max out the fans. Now, this is ultimately me adapting to the laptops, and what I would like to see from Gigabyte is to maybe allow us to adjust this down to, let's say, 20% or 15% or maybe even 10%. And I know that's something that the engineers would have to, test and tune to see if that works for them. And if that's not feasible, that is fine, but something with better idle acoustics would be very much appreciated. And the last thing, you can't undervolt on 10th gen Intel Gigabyte laptops. That's definitely the case here. There's not a lot of gains to be had by doing so, but I'd rather have it than not.
All right, looking back at 2020, the Aorus 17G was in my top 3 favorite laptops reviewed for last year. For 2021, this one can't possibly be my favorite, right? I mean, it's too early in the year, and it's probably going to pale in comparison to all 3070 laptops, and I suspect it's going to compete pound for pound, FPS to FPS, far as the 3060 performance goes. I am speculating there, but I'm usually pretty close when it comes to that type of speculation. But there is so much to like about this model here for its premium build quality, wonderful trackpad, big battery, the best mechanical keyboards you're going to find in a laptop. Dear manufacturers, if you want to come close to this, buy one of these, study it, and mirror it. This mechanical keyboard is outstanding. The hinge, the feel of this device in hand and in real-world usage, in my opinion, as of right now, is easily worth its asking price when you compare it to the equivalent device with a 3070, because that is a huge bump in price. But if you can get a 3070 laptop that's going to compete with this for a lower price, bye-bye Aorus 15G of last gen. Alright folks, that's going to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this review of this laptop. I'm Bob Valtrade. Stay tuned for this device here. You don't want to miss it, and I'll see you in the next video.
Oh good, you made it to the end. Now if you like Gigabyte laptops and want to see more, check out these two reviews. That Aero OLED has been my daily driver since April 2020 with zero burn-in. Thanks for watching.